Hi everyone, welcome back to Ciao Monday. This is meant to be your break from the Monday blues, blahs, anything you might be feeling. I will answer a question about my book, The Healing Power of Singing, Raise Your Voice, Change Your Life. And on the topic of books, Friday is Independent Bookstore Day. So to celebrate that, I have a chat with chat with Susan Chamberlain. Friday is Independent Bookstore Day, so to celebrate, I have a chat with Sarnia's favorite bookseller, Susan Chamberlain. She's an amazing force. We're going to talk about how she moved into taking over her business, her current business, which is thriving, by the way, in the pandemic. She took it over with 2 small kids, and what were her secrets? I'm also going to take you through the town car wash, because you know what? It's like I say to everyone. If you can't take someone through a car wash virtually in a global pandemic, what good are you? I'm so excited. Shivani, who was featured in a previous episode of Ciao Monday, she writes, how much did fear play a part in your journey? And if it did, how did you squash/conquer it? That's a really good question. The book is about my relationship to singing. And through the book, I detail some times where my voice unexpectedly acted as a bit of a savior. So whether it was watching myself back, singing alongside David Bowie, seeing myself as a 25-year-old kind of jumping around on stage, I was very afraid to watch that concert as someone who was twice that age. Twice? 50? No. 40, almost twice. I think the fear there came from knowing deep down inside that I was going to see something that would conjure up like a feeling of nostalgia. Overcoming that fear, which I had to do because I had to answer some media questions about that particular concert, which was called Glastonbury 2000. I think that pushed me into taking a hard look at myself. And there was a lot to look at and a lot to decode and a lot to understand. So the journey started then after watching that concert. It started a little bit in an exploratory way, like listening to some podcasts, doing a lot of self-reflection, trying to follow the clues of what would transform my life from a place of anger, a place of feeling abandoned, which I think when you are left by a spouse, you don't see it coming, it is a major shock. And I talk about that in the book. Some other parts of, I guess, dealing with fear would be taking ownership for the stuff that was going on. It's really easy to blame someone else for a marriage not working out. But I think more and more I hear this when women step into their power, it involves getting brutally honest with ourselves. And that doesn't mean that we blame ourselves. And that doesn't mean that we take responsibility for some actions that we don't approve of. But I think that element of understanding yourself and then forgiving yourself is incredibly liberating because it moves all the baggage out of the way for you to stand in your power to do what you were meant to do. And a lot of the healing comes from figuring out why those things are happening. So it was very scary to look very far back into the past, into what is the root of why I behave a certain way, or why am I drawn to a certain thing, or why is someone drawn to me? And a lot of that can be answered by looking at some childhood things. The other thing that really helped along the way, and you can read the book to know more, just listening to people around me who I felt were following their true energy. They were inspiring to me because they lived by their values And I realized how out of line I was with my own values. So that's one way that you can get a little bit closer to conquering your own fear of anything, is just to surround yourself with people who are firmly planted in their values. And you know those people because they set boundaries and they thrive and they are in their joy. I think sometimes we have people around us who are not clear on their values. They think they're clear on their values, but they're not clear on them. And that's when you get kind of caught up in their whirlwind, roller coaster? I don't know, their thing. You want to raise yourself up to be somewhere where you feel like yourself, really. Thank you for that question, Shivani. Here's my little chat with Susan Chamberlain, who runs a Sarnia bookkeeper.
It's awesome. Is that your actual background, or is that the picture of
No,
your
that's
store?
the actual store behind me. I'm sitting
Wow.
right at the front of the store.
Susan
Yeah.
Chamberlain runs the bookkeeper in Sarnia. Maybe you could just backtrack and tell us how you even started your business.
Well, the business was started well before me. It was owned by someone for about 20 years before I
Okay.
stepped in. And I have now just had my 20th anniversary of having the store. So
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
store
Congrats.
is actually is 41. Our 40th anniversary was last year. I worked at the bookkeeper when I was in high school. So it's been a full circle. Like I went away to university and went and lived in Toronto and worked in publishing for years, and then came back to Sarnia and bought the bookstore. And that's the nutshell. That's the nutshell version of it.
So what led to you making that decision to buy it?
I had always wanted to buy it. The previous owner and I were very, very close. And we would always talk about when I come back and own the store, when I come back and own the store.
Wow.
And I came back, and it didn't seem like I would be able to buy the store because I had a new baby, and then I had another new baby.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't imagine life in Sarnia without the bookkeeper and without me being a part of it. And even though my kids were really young when I bought the store, but I knew if I didn't do it, if I didn't jump in and buy it and it closed, somebody else would jump in and open a store before I was ready. So I just jumped in.
Wow, that's so inspiring. It seems like you're really fueled by your love for the bookstore, which I
Yeah,
think, in my coaching, I talk a lot about where's your highest energy and focus on that, because that kind of makes everything make sense, right?
that's right.
But with two small kids, I'm sure your energy was going there as well. So how did you have the courage to kind of make it all work, or were there tangible things that you did to make it work?
Well, always, and especially now, staff, like amazing, amazing people I work with. Most of the people that are with me now have been with me for more than 10 years. So we are like a really tight group. We have a lot of inside jokes. We're hilarious. Not me so much, but the rest of them, they're hilarious. Which a
Awesome.
sense of humor always helps. Yeah, time management is always an issue in everybody's life, I think. And certainly a lot of my energy has gone into the bookstore, but a lot of my energy went into the kids as well. And my children are now grown and in their 20s. And my eldest manages a bookstore in Montreal.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, that happens because they were
Wow.
raised here, right? They
Yep.
both have been a big part of the store. So, yeah,
Wow, that's so
it's
interesting.
cool.
What would you say the secret to your own time management skills are?
So, something that took a long time to learn is to delegate. Don't do it all yourself, even though you want to do it all yourself because you know how you want it done. And, but delegate and surround yourself with great people again. And this is something that my eldest and I talk about a lot because it is, you could literally spend every second of every day here at the bookstore, making it better, doing more things. There's always more things to do, but is just understanding that it'll still be there tomorrow and that you're never going to catch up. There's always going to be something more. So you just have to sort of come to terms with that and just sort of at the end of every day say, I've done what I can do for today
Mm.
and walk away.
So tell me about maybe your favorite event that you've had at the store.
Well, I will tell you that the last event I did was not last fall, but the fall before. Our final event of that fall was the end of November. We had Margaret Atwood, and that was my lifelong dream. And in my
Wow.
introduction to her, I said, okay, November 27th, I host Margaret Atwood, and there were 700 people. We were in a big hall. It was amazing. And I said, and on November 28th, I'll retire because now I've done everything. Everything I want to do as a bookseller is done. And then no more in-person events.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
so amazing. This aspect of what you do, where you're always doing events and listening to the community, where does this come from? Like, this is not something that every bookstore owner does.
And I would argue that probably every bookseller does do it. I mean, we're all so connected to our communities, and as much as possible, people do events, and like we host local poets write a book. We have a poetry reading. You know, we support every level of books and authorship.
Mm.
But yes, I was born and raised in Sarnia, and I love Sarnia, and I know a lot of people here. I mean, as you get older, it's just amazing how much more connected you get. And partnering with different groups in town often, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense business-wise, and you're friends with them already, so why wouldn't you partner together to promote this event? I just wanted to say about reading and health, and like this whole pandemic, you know, has not been ideal. It's not the way we ever envisioned doing business, but certainly one of the best things about a bricks and mortar bookstore is browsing, is getting in there and spending an hour, not knowing what you wanted when you came in, but going out with a huge stack of books because you just poked around the store. So that's what we're built for. But when everything went online, the community support was incredible. And it is incredible, continues to be incredible. I was completely humbled by the response because I was also completely terrified at the beginning a year ago. I thought, well, this is going to be how it ends. I was terrified. And it wasn't. This, I will tell you that this has been we have been up this past year over the previous year.
Wow,
which
that's amazing.
boggles my mind. Yeah, without in-person events. And just, I think people rediscovered their love of reading, and the people that already loved reading, you know, just did more of it because they had all that spare time. And I also have to say, jigsaw puzzles saved our life.
Wow.
People wanted jigsaw puzzles. Like every order that we were doing last year had at least one or two jigsaw puzzles in it. I couldn't keep up with the demand. Now we have lots of jigsaw puzzles, and we're ready, and we have board games. We have craft kits.
What books are you excited about right now?
Almost finished the one I'm reading right now, and I'm very excited about it. And it's, I mean, everybody should know about it because it won the Canada Reads competition just recently. And it's called Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. And it's just beautiful. I love it. Another one that I just finished is by Russell Banks, and Russell Banks is an American writer. But this book is set, he has lots of connections to Canada, and it's set in Montreal, and it's called Foregone. And he is a beautiful writer as well, and just a master storyteller.
So tell people how they can get books from you.
So we have a great site. You can shop online, you can put your card online, you can have it delivered, you can come to the front of the store and pick it up for curbside. I always say, like, it's just us. So whatever you want, just tell us. I'm sure we can figure it out. Like, you want me to come to the back door and knock 3 times and leave it on whatever. Or if you want us to run it out to your car, we can do that. Call us from the parking lot. So leave us a message on Facebook, on Instagram, because we know how to do that now. It's sarniabookkeeper.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for reaching out.
Can we talk about the third wave? Not third stage. That's an awesome album. Oh, are we done? Well, thanks for coming through the car wash with me. Really really enjoyable. Thank you so much for joining me today on Ciao Mondays. Next week, Ciao Mondays will be taking a tiny break, but we'll be back the following Monday. Have an awesome Monday.